Hey, Ty, thanks for taking the time, man.
Yes, sir.
In week 12, when you face these guys, they were coming off a stretch where they were really struggling to throw the ball downfield. And since then, especially the last few games, they've really stretched it out pretty good and become an explosive passing team. Just what have you noticed in studying them that's different, from their lead up to your guys' game last time and this time around?
Well, I think really, experience. I think a lot of those guys, this is their first time playing together, and I think great things take time, and I think that those guys have been able to kind of settle in, create some familiarity with one another. And then too, they got two running backs that can really run the football well. So, that can only, add to, the play action, deep shots down the field. And, like I said, those wide receivers seem really comfortable now, with Brady.
Go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Tyrann, what's up, man?
Hey.
Wanted to ask you just about the comebacks. Obviously, it was a theme of last postseason. You guys did get down almost double digits last game. Is there just a sense of, because of what you guys went through last year, that it's a particularly no big deal whenever things don't go well at the start of a football game?
Yeah, I think, a little bit of that is just football too. I think at the end of the day, we practice so hard. I think our preparation is so important, not only to the players, but to the coaches. And so I think ultimately that's what we fall back on. We fall back on our preparation, the little things, the little nuggets that our coaches have told us throughout the week. And I think all those little things give us, the sense that we can kind of settle down and get back into any football game.
Go next to Nick Jacobs. Go ahead, Nick.
Tyrann, I'm curious for you, what do you take from last year's Super Bowl week and also the Super Bowl? From that experience, what does it do for you this time around?
Last year, you just try to take everything in. Obviously, it was my first time, playing in a big game like this. And so it's a lot of media obligation and different things like that. At the end of the day, it's all about football, though. You can't let, this week or next week kind of distract you from, the primary goal. And that's to, be ready for Super Bowl Sunday.
Go next to Len Jennings. Go ahead, Len.
Hey, Tyrann. I hope you're doing well today.
Hey.
Last year, this defense seemed to kind of progress as the season went along. It's like this season, it seems like the same thing, especially what you guys were able to do against the Bills last year. Do you kind of get the same feeling how you guys just seem to keep getting better week by week? And is that by design from Spags?
Well, I think, each and every week we try our best to go out there and, really compete at a high level. I think at the end of the day, especially when you get into postseason, it's all about which team has the better defense on the field. And, for us, it all comes about, winning third downs, not letting teams score over 17 or 20 points. And I think as long as we can kind of, stay in that mindset, I think, we can give ourselves a chance to win any big game.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Tyrann, I know we have asked you about Juan quite a bit this year, but in particular the last few weeks, it looks like he's finally putting everything together. Where do you see him as far as entering this game and maybe what he was able to do his rookie year and working his way back?
Yeah, I think, Juan is, coming into his own, once again, obviously, everybody has expectations, for every player. But I think for him, it was all about him taking his time. He was coming off a really, really, really big injury that really affects, defensive backs and reacting and different things like that. And so I think the more games he's played in, the more plays he's made, his confidence is just continuing to grow. I thought last week was probably, one of his best games just from, him reading, reacting, and bursting to the ball. And so I know he's, licking his chops to get back on the field. And so we'll have another big opportunity, a big challenge for us. And I know he's going to come through and make some plays for us.
Next to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Tyrann, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing good.
From a player's perspective, what stands out to you the most or impresses you the most about Brett Veach's ability to build this team and put you in a position to run it back?
Well, I think, most importantly, it's all about, finding the right guys that fit, the culture. I think we can, I think if you have enough money, you can just go get anybody. But at the end of the day, it's all about guys that's, going to come in and add to the culture, guys that's going to come in and really adopt the philosophy, the coaches around them and the leaders around them. And so he's done a great job of putting the right guys, inside the locker room. And I think that's a big reason why we're so close and we're so committed to winning with one another.
Next to Seren Petro. Good, Seren.
Tyrann, just get your thoughts. Number one, Bruce Arians was on a radio station down in Tampa yesterday and said he felt like the offense really started coming together in the second half against you guys. And I know you guys gave up a couple of touchdowns at the end. That was kind of a theme. It seemed like this team was more focused on, like, maybe the job was done and you guys maybe moved on a little quicker, and there were some scores that made games seem closer than they were. I'm just curious your reaction to hearing him say that that's when their offense clicked, and do you feel like they did something different coming down the stretch in that game?
Well, I don't think it's any secret. If I remember correctly, I don't think I was too happy after the Tampa Bay game. And, obviously we gave up some big plays, but most of those things were technique things, things that we can clean up. So it's all about us just, going back over the details, going back over the little things, understanding that, we're playing against Tom Brady and it's going to take 4 quarters to kind of put this guy away. And doesn't matter how many points we're up by or what the situation is going into the second half. We got to find a way to kind of close the door on Tom, because he's always shown, the ability to put his team, back in the game. So it was a learning experience for us, and hopefully, we've learned from it, and we'll be ready to roll next time around.